But the fact that they have to ask that question, that they have to think about it, is why you don't ever give up your firearms. Hey folks, welcome back to Bullets and Brass. We are watching a country that used to be almost one of the ideals of freedom in the world. If you look at countries that kind of epitomized the frontier spirit and personal freedoms and not the Wild West, but kind of a rugged individualism, Australia was way up there. And we are now watching the end result of giving up your firearms when the government has a monopoly on force. This is why we have a Second Amendment in this country. This is why when they nibble at it, when they keep pushing, people resist strongly. They resist more strongly than the immediate issue seems to indicate makes sense. Because the end result is what we're seeing in Australia today. And if you're not following, you should be. If you are not paying attention, you may need to search alternative sources. I have not checked the mainstream media. I don't know how well they're covering it. I tend to just avoid them entirely. Makes my life a little smoother, a little happier. um, but yeah, if you are not somebody who is a Second Amendment supporter because you like firearms, look at what is happening in Australia and ask yourself if you think that's okay. If you disagree with what is happening there, support the Second Amendment, even if you personally have no interest in shooting sports, don't like guns, hate the whole idea. That's not what it's about. All the other things that we do with firearms in this country have nothing to do with the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment exists so that the government never has a monopoly on force, so that there's not a moment where the government can say, we don't care that you disagree, population, we're doing it anyway. And the population doesn't have an effective means to say, we beg to differ. I think that Australia needs to take a long, hard look and decide, do they want to go down this road or do they not? I think that this needs to be a warning lesson for those of us here in the United States. It isn't just about going hunting. It isn't just about three gun. It's not about grandpa's double barrel shotgun. That assault weapon they like to demonize and say, hey, we're going to take that. You don't need that. You don't need that for hunting or even self defense. Yeah, yeah. Do you? We're not there in this country. I'm not saying we are. But I'm looking at Australia and I'm going, a lot of people in Australia are making real hard choices right now. They're looking at their wife and kids, they're looking at their neighbors, and they're going, yeah, what am I going to do? What is my choice? And you look at your kid and you go, how much am I willing to risk now so that they might not have to? And that is not, I'm not implying that that's an easy choice. I'm not implying that there's even a good answer. But the fact that they have to ask that question, that they have to think about it, is why you don't ever give up your firearms. As a nation, as a population, if your government has a monopoly on force against you, they are not your government. They are your rulers, and you are a peasant. You are a serf. You are a slave. Take care, all.